Lads, we're back, and today we're going to be doing my ban list prediction video. What do I think is going to be on the ban list this time around? And if you watched my video last week, link to be in the description, you'll know that I don't have very high hopes for it. I don't think anything is getting banned at all. So what my thought process is that they're going to try and reinvigorate the community in a positive way. We're going to get an E-ban later in the year or next year or whenever physical play resumes. And until then, we're either going to get unlimits and things coming back to the game that they're just like, let's reinvigorate the community or what have you. So today, that's what we're going to do. We are going to talk about my prediction list. What I think is going to come off the list, what I think might get limited, but that's the worst case scenario of anything that's going to be there. And we're going to dive right into it, starting out with the limited list, and then we'll hit the semi-limited list, and then we'll go to the unlimits. So we're going to check all that stuff out. What I think is going to be changed around, shake it up. All right, let's go ahead and dive right into this, shall we?
First up in our limited section is going to be Double Iris Magician. This is a good card for sure, but Pendulum really needs the boost. After the beginning of the year where we had Servant of Endymion limited to 1 and Electromite banned, it really hurt a lot of Pendulum-based strategies, and this would make Pendulum Magicians more viable, as well as give a much-needed boost to Pendulum overall, and that's why I think it should come off the ban list and go to 1. Next up for the limited section, I believe that ASTROGRAPH Sorcerer can come back to 1. Yup, give Pendulum some more weapons back. At 1, this card I think is fair, and with Electromite banned, it's really not nearly as powerful. So this just gives Pendulum back a couple of cards since they got slaughtered at the beginning of the year. And it really does just bolster Pendulum Magician as a strategy to be more viable. And it'll help sell Rise of the Duelist, because we need help. The next card on the limited section, I think, is going to be Salamangreat Mirage Stallion. Look, Salamangreat, no matter how you dice it, needs a boost. And I think giving the back Mirage Stallion will make them more competitive. The way it stands right now is Salamangreat is kind of slowly falling out of favor. It's the budget option, the budget deck of choice, but without Mirage Stallion and with all the new powerful cards that have come out, it needs something back. So I think this is the best of both worlds. Next on our list is going to be Thunder Dragon Colossus. With no cards getting banned, and with so many new and powerful cards coming into the format, Thunder Dragon Colossus, honestly, would be the perfect rogue option to give back. With Black Dragon not likely to be banned and everything else, this is the best thing you can do, is give us a hard-to-beat-over walking mistake. Number 5, I recognize there's a mild case of bias to, and that is ORCUST HARP Horror. Look, this gives another top-tier competitive option to players, and it may even reinvigorate people with more creative decks. And giving people back one of the strongest, if not the strongest engine ever printed for this game would be really cool. I do understand that giving it more than 1 would be incredibly degenerate, but 1 HARP Horror would really help bolster pure ORCUST as a strategy. The final of our limited cards is twofold. I'm cheating, but both of these cards are a part of the same problem here. Like last time I predicted this, Tuning and Jet Synchron will go to 1. And I'm predicting this because limiting both of these cards really affects the consistency of these decks without outright destroying them. It doesn't negatively impact people's investments, and due to this, it would make people have to play things like Scrap Recycler and the Scrap Package in order to get to their Halki Fibrax plays, which I think makes it a little bit more balanced. To start out the semi-limited section, we're going to go with ABC Dragon Booster. We never really had an opportunity to play ABC at full power under the Master Rule revision, and this would make the deck playable and a good testing ground for it to come to 3, versus just unlimiting it to 3 and then finding out that there's a huge problem with it at 3. We'd find out more about it at 2, and it would really help bolster communities and make people excited to play the game again. The next pick for our semi-limited section is going to be something that is totally awesome. And that would be totally awesome. Look, everything I said about ABC Dragon Buster applies to totally awesome, except it's for Paleo Frogs. We could use some more control decks and fun decks in the format, and this would be the perfect card to bring to 2, to see if it's okay to bring to 3, and it would help a lot of decks, not just Paleo Frogs. So that's why I think Totally Awesome should come to 2. Next up on the semi-limited section would be A Hero Lives. Look, this just gives hero players more tools to work with, and will definitely get people excited to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Heroes is one of the most popular archetypes, and I think just giving them more tools back, or one tool back at a little bit more of a consistent number, would be beneficial for the game and to keep people excited about playing and buying Yu-Gi-Oh! Product. The final card that I think can come to 2 is Sky Striker Mecha Modules Multi-Roll. This gives Sky Strikers more additional tools to work with without making it super splashable. Like, I'm not calling for Engage to come back at any time in the near future. It's Pot of Greed, but much better. So I think Multi-Roll coming back to 2 would really bolster the deck and give it a little bit more consistency and would help it in playing in grindier games. The final section of today's video is going to be the unlimited section. I think there are only 3 cards, and the first one we're going to talk about is Morphing Jar. That's right, Morphing Jar. It can come back to 3. It's a flip effect monster. It really doesn't serve a purpose being limited. It's not going to change anything being at 3. I don't think anybody's going to spend the time to build Morphing Jar FTK. It's just not consistent enough, and it doesn't do enough for the game. I think at 1, it's silly. At 3, it's not going to do anything. The next card that should go to 3 will be Tour Guide from the Underworld. This will be a twofold thing. 1, it really excites Burning Abyss players. They love this card. It's their bae. Burning Abyss players just have a weird fetish for Tour Guide from the Underworld. But the second reason is, with more Fiend support coming soon, this would really excite the player base for that new support, and it makes it immediately more impactful. The final card that we're going to talk about in the Unlimited section, and the final card for this video, is going to be Sky Striker Mecha Widow Anchor. Sky Striker Mecha Widow Anchor is the best control card the deck has access to, and giving them a 3rd copy of it just gives Sky Strikers a few more tools to make them a more competitive control deck, so that they can do things, like control the game.
Lads, that's going to do it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, consider subscribbling. Make sure to hit that like button down below as well. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think is going to get banned, limited, semi-limited, all that fun stuff, all that jazz. Let me know what you think is coming back to the game, all the good stuff. And until next time, lads, a good fun. Have luck.